Hello, everyone. This is Maria Spillane, Executive National Vice President with Arbonne. I am extremely excited to have a very special guest with me today. I have Stacy Newman Kendall, who is not just a friend of mine, but one of my favorite friends because she is extremely well, first of all, we're very much alike, okay? And of course, I like me, so I like her. But it really, she's a very multifaceted individual. And to me, it just speaks volumes what she's been able to accomplish in her life. And I'm just going to make sure that everybody can see her and myself. Hold on one second. Say hi, Stacy.
Hi.
Okay, now we're up there together. All right, so what Stacy is here to do today, guys, I want to be really clear. Stacy is not an Arbonne consultant, okay? Often we will have speakers and do interviews with people who are Arbonne consultants who are experts in fitness, experts in their field, experts in naturopathic medicine, or whatever that is. But this time we are talking to a diehard fan of our products. This is someone who has volunteered to be a client ambassador for our products and actually approached me and said, you know what, I've had some really incredible results and I want to help spread the word about these products. Yes, for all of you who are wondering, I did ask her to become a consultant, okay? And she has decided that she would like to refer people to me instead, but she wants to get the word out because she feels that the products have greatly impacted her performance as an athlete. And she's going to share today with us a few things, but she's also for sure going to share with us her special blend of Arbonne products that she's personally using to impact her performance and her results. So I'm going to go ahead and ask a few questions of Stacy. And Stacy, I just want to thank you before we even get started. And let me get my questions up here. Before we even get started, I just want to thank you, number one, for being an amazing client, and number two, for being so gracious with your time and so caring that you are willing to, sacrifice I know you don't have a lot of time because you are a very busy woman, and I appreciate you taking the time to share with everyone today. I really feel like your insight will have an impact. So thank you very much for doing that for us today.
Sure. Well, thank you so much because you also introduced me to these products. So I attribute a lot of my gains and successes in this to you because you're the one who showed me and I'm like amazed by it. So
well, I appreciate that. And I'm really happy that you're here today. Before we get into your adventures as an athlete, okay. And guys, I see Stacy like every day running. Okay. I'm driving back and forth and there she is running. She lives relatively close by me, like maybe only like 12 blocks away, really. But they're country blocks, right? So I'm driving up and down that road and there she is running, right? So, but Stacy, before we get to that piece of it, I would love for you to share a little bit more about you personally. For example, please tell everyone what you do for a living.
sure. So I'm an executive director and head of user experience engineering for wealth management at JP Morgan Chase and Company. So my day job is pretty much looking at interactions, technology, and architecture and how to solution it to be sustainable, flexible, and incremental from a build perspective. So I work with technologists and business every day, all day long in my day job. And then I guess my after day job would be I have three children. I have a 9-year-old daughter, a 6-year-old son, and a 3-year-old son. So they keep me pretty busy as well. But I guess the other things I try to do in my free time are I'm currently very involved with Cycle for Survival. I know some of you, thank you to Maria. She actually very generous donated to my campaign. I do this every year. I've been promoted to be a team captain, and it's part of Memorial Sloan Kettering, and they are raising awareness and funds for cancer research, and 100% of it goes towards that research, which is amazing. And I do it in memory of my dad. And so I'm right now getting ready for next Wednesday because it's the cycling day. And other than that, I also do printmaking and mixed media design in my spare time. I was an art major in undergraduate, so I continue to do art. I'm currently have an exhibition that's opened in Bethlehem at the Rotunda as I'm part of the Printmakers Society of the Lehigh Valley. And I will have another one coming up actually in Easton and College Hill, probably within the next 6 weeks as well at Mojo 516. And then I also do training. I run, I bike, I swim, and try to keep up with 3 small children as part of it as well. So I took on the endeavor to do 2 triathlons this year. I've done over 5 marathons. I've done countless numbers of other races. I've done an Olympic triathlon before. I cycle out of Trexlertown, out of the Rodale Cycling Center. And I'm a member of USA Triathlon. I'm a member of USA Swimming. I'm also a stroke and turn official for USA Swimming. And I've been a member of USA Track and Fields as I ran as part of the Lehigh Valley Roadrunners Masters Cross Country National Team when we went to championships a few years ago. So
that is amazing. And the fact that you are able to get all of this in it has always been amazing to me. I appreciate what you've done so much. And do you mind if I ask your age?
I'm 46.
46 years old. Yeah, you're hot stuff, girl. I am like loving this. So when we first started, I mean, we were friends, right? And I remember you talking about some challenges that you were trying to get around as far as your like fitness, nutrition and things. And that's really how the whole Arbonne subject came up. Can you tell everyone what problems you were looking to solve and why it is you chose to give Arbonne products a try?
So I do a lot of mixed training where I do endurance and I also do like intervals or sprint training. So it's a mixed bag. And typically there's a ton of different products out there that you can use. Some of them for if you're doing, just intervals or sprint or a short workout. And then you would use like different course of products for endurance training. But I was finding that like I was still running out of steam and I was exhausted and I was taking a lot of time for recovery. So if I was doing an endurance like run or bike, I'd find that I would need days to recover to be able to like really be able to do the next challenge of what I needed to do in my training plan, which was a little frustrating because when you're trying to do every week a time trial for cycling, or you're trying every week to increase your mileage for running, and your body's exhausted, it makes it really, really difficult in general to get that, and it can kind of be then mentally frustrating, and then there's a whole cycle that takes place. And I've tried almost everything since I've been running for over 20 plus years, and I've been doing cycling and swimming for probably just as long. So I was looking for something. I'm always willing. I say I will try anything once. I tried hot yoga once. Will not do that again. It was very long.
I love you.
And very hot. But like, I will try anything once. I really will. And so when we spoke, you said, why don't you try some of these things and see how they work for you?
And then you did.
I did.
Which is so exciting. And I'm so happy that you did, because it turns out that it was a really good thing that you did. I want to know okay, let's see. First of all, how has switching to using these Arbonne products affected your performance as an athlete? And would you share exactly what products you use and what combinations you create for yourself?
Sure. So let me start with the first one. I've seen, not only am I more able to complete my workouts and I feel strong all the way through them to the end, I also have to say that like my downtime is like next to nothing, which is awesome, because losing days is really hard, especially when I'm on such a tight schedule in general between everything that's going on. So finding that, they give me fuel, they make me feel good, and I have minimal recovery is just, it's like a utopia of what I do. I think that I use a few different products from the lines. I do actually, I start my morning every day with one of the antioxidant shots every day. So that's first and foremost what I do. But then when I'm going to actually do a workout, I typically have 2 water bottles for my workouts because it takes me usually, I go through both of them, especially if I'm doing like a long endurance ride, or I'm doing a brick, which is a bike run, or I'm doing like a climb in Zwift or whatnot. So my first bottle that I actually put together, and I use about like a 20-ounce water bottle. So those are typically what I have. I'll fill it, and then the first key ingredient is always the muscle recovery. And I've had people actually reach out to me and say like, wow, you use it like as your warm up in your ride instead of like as a recovery. And I said, yes. And to me, the reason is I find it actually more effective that way for my body, because I'm using it in the warm up. It actually gets into my circulation and gets into my muscles. And ultimately, as I go, as any endurance athlete will tell you, you build lactic acid. And ultimately, what I feel that it does is it actually helps to mitigate the lactic acid. So it's almost like helping in doing a lactic shuffle, which means that it's distributing it and helping my body to reabsorb that lactic acid, which is also why I have minimal recovery time and I'm not hurting during my runs. But I make it into a cocktail. Not like a going out cocktail, but it's my workout cocktails. And so it's always starts with the muscle recovery in there. It always has a mind health in there as well, because it helps me to focus on whatever it is that I'm doing and to stay strong during it. I also put in an energy fizz, depending on which ones are around and out. I'll try them and see what's going on with them. And then the fourth ingredient is usually the workout hydration, the True Sport hydration. So those are the 4 that I do. And that's usually typically in my warm up during my first 30 minutes. And then my second water bottle again, and I throw a few ice cubes in there for good measure. And then my second water bottle, which is also like 20 ounces, I put in there one of the True Sport workout fuels. I put in there another hydration, because it's so important to have all that balance of electrolytes and what you're doing. I put in there another energy fizz. And then if I'm feeling like I want to pamper myself a little bit while I'm going, I'll put in the Skin Elixir as well. So those are my 2 main cocktails. I will tell you, I typically, because the workout fuel is like an orange pineapple, I typically use either the blood orange or the pineapple energy fizz. So it just complements it. But I also like the strawberry one. I like the pomegranate one. I actually really miss the cherry one. It was probably my favorite of all of them. But I will mix them up and see where it takes me. And that's typically the 2 my 2 cocktails that I'm using like religiously, and they've been helping. And I will tell you, to the point where last summer I was using them. I won my age division in 5K, my first road race that I've done since COVID. My first road race, I won my age division in female, and I took 4th place female overall in the race. And then since then, I am now training for a triathlon, actually 2 triathlons. And every week I do a brick, which is that bike run, where I'm doing typically about 10 miles on the bike and a little over a 5K, probably like a 7K. And I find that it actually has been reducing my time week over week. So I took a minute plus off of my brick time in the last week. And I'm finding actually also in my time trials, I had started with I believe in the 13s in my time trials, which is a almost 5 mile all out sprint that I do on Zwift. And I am down to my PR is 11:06. And I'm also taking the green jersey, which is for winning the sprints from a female perspective pretty often. And I'm typically traditionally in the top 10 of female finishers in any of the sprints or challenges that I'm doing on Zwift as well.
Yeah. And this is a huge accomplishment for you, right? Like this is like a shift.
Yeah. So I think that, I was always a runner. I was not a confident cyclist and not as strong of cyclist. And the fact that I started with doing like 13 to 15 miles an hour on a long bike ride, and now my average speed is between 19 and 22 miles an hour. And the fact that like I'm consistently placing in the female finishers, I'm really quite pleased in general with it. It builds confidence for sure.
That is amazing. Congratulations on your success. I'm so happy for you. And I did include Stacy's link for Cycle for Survival in the comments. So go ahead and copy that link before this Zoom is over. I am going to provide a recording of this if you want to share with anyone. And before we go, the last question that I have for you, Stacy, if you don't mind, 1.5 more questions.
1.5 is cool.
1.5 more questions. Hold on. Now I've lost my questions. One sec. Open. Come on. I wish that phones would just listen to me when I try to tell them to open verbally.
Yeah, technology works until it doesn't. So.
Exactly. So, or until there's user error.
Pretty much.
So my question and a half is, what advice can you give to, like, if you could give one bit of advice to women in their 40s who are looking to take it to the next level with their athleticism, and looking back on your life, what advice would you give to young women who are approaching all of the life changes that happen, when you hit your 30s and 40s? What advice could you give them as well?
So I think the biggest piece of advice is don't let yourself get in the way of yourself. And I think that is, to me, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got, because whatever you're doing, even if it's not a race or, any endurance event, just in general, anything that you're doing, don't let yourself like doubt yourself. Tell yourself you can do it. And I will tell you, like, if you tell yourself and you keep at it and you keep trying, you will succeed. I think having products like I just mentioned only help and make everything better, but you have to have the attitude that you can do it. You can cross that finish line, and it could be a finish line for the race, or it could be a finish line for anything that you have a goal that you want to set out to achieve. And ultimately having some positive support and having good nutrition and really, making sure that the things that you hold near and dear and a priority, you make sure that you give time to them to get them done. So really don't let yourself hold yourself back in any way, because you are so fabulous and you can do anything that you set your mind to, ultimately.
Thank you so much, Stacy. You are incredibly inspiring. I really appreciate you so much. And I'll see you around a little after 12:30 today.
Yep.
I'll be stopping by. And thank you so much for sharing with us. This was
absolutely
really valuable.
I'm happy to, if anybody ever wants to ping me on Facebook or whatnot, I'm more than happy to share like how I use the product, or like what my favorite combinations of like the fizzes are with the workout fuel and muscle recovery. I'm more than happy to always share like my flavors, but I know that's very subjective. So, I think whatever anybody likes, go do it. But like, really, I think the muscle recovery is warm up. Actually, I think is so much more beneficial and is awesome to be using in any combination thereof.
I'm definitely going to not only try that myself, I'm also going to get my son on that with his all his sports and everything. I'm going to start putting that in his drink, like for when he goes to work out instead of after. And I'm going to see how that goes. I appreciate that advice.
There you go. Then if he's just saying that he hurts, then he's just using an excuse so he doesn't have to work out.
All right. Well, Stacey, thank you so much for being with us today. We
Thank you so much.
you. And Absolutely. Everyone, I'm going to have this available for you guys but probably by the end of today. So if anyone that is a triathlete or any kind of athlete who's really looking to get an edge, you can pass this information along to them as well. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Thanks, Stacey.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.